Okay. Just looking at the standings. I'm ready whenever.
All right, I just got us live. Let me put the thumbnail on YouTube and then start. Is it cool in the back? Like, can you notice the NBA stuff in the background?
I can, yeah. It's like you're in the command center.
It's the I don't know. I think it was like 11 days ago. It was the weekly. They do like a weekly highlight, which is cool. Let us. Oh, me go up in the send. Talk about. Let me send out the link. All right. Let's show on the road. Get up. Started in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Wise Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Brady Fitzgerald, joined as always by my co-host, Chris Hagan.
How you guys doing?
Doing well, Chris. It's a brunch pod. I don't know about you, feeling a little sleepy, and we needed to go do our pod yesterday. I didn't have that signature Friday nap that gets me recovered for the day. But it worked out. The women's Final Four happened last night, so we'll have we're gonna take that at the top. South Carolina. I was worried for about a half. It was really close. It was a 1-point game at halftime, and then Don Staley just must have said something in the locker room, got those women fired up, and they completely smoked NC State in the second half. They get to this point, the South Carolina women's team, where if they get the ball rolling, the other team just abandons the plan, abandoned ship. They don't know what to do, and they almost make them. They almost make them completely forget how to play basketball. It seems like.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like that old saying like, one of the boxers said it. You have a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah,
and that's what it is with this South Carolina team because they're so much better than everybody else. It's kind of similar to UConn on the men's side, except like way more dominant.
Yeah.
So in these games where it's close, you just know that if they get on a run, the game can end in 5 minutes. That's exactly what happened in this game. The third quarter was like 29-6.
Yeah, 29-6 in the third quarter. They made one field goal the whole quarter. The Wolfpack did, and South Carolina, they just turn on they can turn on their defense. No one on that team is like the star. Like they don't have to run through anyone. So the fact that our best player, Camila Cardoso, got I don't know how many rebounds she ended up with, but let me look. She had 22 and 11, and she played 23 minutes. That's it. It's a 40-minute game. They just the availability to play 7, 8 women. Like I think they ended up playing 9, and they all play for almost 15 plus minutes each. It's luxury. It's a luxury that
Yeah.
these other teams don't have, especially UConn didn't have in that second game. But hopefully they're the undefeated team going against the golden child in Caitlin Clark now in the NCAA tournament. So we'll talk about that game in a second. But looking ahead, I'm getting nervous about the narrative.
I told you that game was going to be rigged.
Yeah,
I remember saying it on the podcast.
I know, and we had I thought they couldn't. They're trying to grow women's sports. They can't rig them yet. They can't rig women's sports yet. I will say this. That screen pass, like the moving screen. I mean, it was
technically
it was a bad call for the moment, but
yes,
it was the right call. Sadly,
it was kind of like the pass interference in the Super Bowl.
That's a great way to put it. Let's paint the picture real quick. UConn is down 2-1, 1 point, 70-69. 10 seconds left. They get the ball back. They run a play off a screen, and the girl gets called for a what is it, like a legal screen? I don't know what it is. And it was a ticky-tacky call that gave Iowa the ball. Caitlin Clark gets to the free throw line, seals the game, and all of a sudden it's over.
What did she miss one?
Yeah, she did miss one. But
one girl got the offensive rebound.
Yeah, they got the rebound, and it was done. They were close. So what was nerve-wracking for if you were a UConn fan was that they were sticking around because like at the beginning they went really hot. They had them up almost the whole game, but they were just there. They're lingering, and you knew at the end if they're there lingering, which is what I'm really nervous about South Carolina is that they're gonna blow the whistle to help out their golden child and Caitlin Clark, and like it's so unbelievably biased. And like I'm not saying like all these games are rigged to have her win and like that she's not great and special, but does it have to be every commercial? Does it have to be every statement? Every time we turn on the TV and they're talking about women's basketball, like South Carolina's 38-0 and nobody talks about it or cares whatsoever. They're like, they just went to the national championship. Like, yeah, whatever. I made a joke, and we'll be talking about the NBA after this. But I think Don could get the Wizards, this roster, to win 50 games. I think they could be number 2 in the West.
I would trust her.
Yeah, dude. She's gotten to the point for me, like, she can't do anything wrong. She's at legacy status. Beyond any belief.
She's like the John Wooden of modern women's hoops.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like the...
What if they just won like 9 or 10?
It's funny. Like
I mean, it's basically what UConn did. They're the new UConn.
They are the new UConn.
They got to win this year, though.
They do have to win, though.
They can't lose again.
No, they can't lose again. And I was looking at UConn, and it's like, I don't think, no matter how dominant we've been, we were 108-3 the past 3 seasons. UConn had a stretch, though. I'm pretty sure I sent it to my dad yesterday. I'll try to find the exact stat. I think it was like 141-0.
Yeah.
Like they've had some
they had a pretty ridiculous run.
Oh yeah. So when Brianna Stewart was on UConn, her last 123 games, she went 122-1, and none of those wins were decided by single digits. Not a single win.
It is like since the 60s when UCLA went on that run and the Celtics had their finals run, that UConn run is the most dominant that we've seen in our lifetime. And
they went 4 for 4. They went 4 for 4.
It wasn't even close.
Did you see the UConn's coach quotes after the game?
No. What did he say?
He was saying like, "Oh, I think like now with UConn, it's gotten to such this legacy status that if we don't win the national championship, we're apparently like a lesser program to a program that that has won 2 national championships and made it to the Final Four 4 times in a row, which I guess was like a call out to South Carolina, but like I don't know why. He basically was trying to say, let's look at the
That was
players and like celebrate the players' individual accomplishments, even if they didn't end up winning the national championship. It's like it just seemed like he was just getting mad that women's hoops is actually competitive now.
Oh, I'm sure he is. Of course he is.
It's like I've been doing this for 20 years. Nobody's ever put a candle to me. I don't know what to do.
I mean, there was coverage when they were winning those championships. I remember seeing stuff.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
back when I would actually watch SportsCenter too, and they were talked about. They were a big deal. Not as big as Caitlin Clark is now.
No,
And that's not even the program that he's comparing it to.
no, definitely not. But it's gonna be a fun. I wish. Why did they make this is the most random national championship time I've ever heard of?
3:00.
3 p.m. on a Sunday. I don't know. I thought that was. I thought that was.
I think it was that way last year too.
Yeah, I do
don't know
remember
why
it was
it
on a
is.
Sunday. But when South Carolina won 2 years ago, I remember it was nighttime, and we ran in the fountain and everything. It was
Right, I do remember seeing that.
It was like a 7 p.m. tip, like a normal national championship should be.
Yeah, well, you'll have more time to party if they win.
That's true. So I'm gonna be.
It'll be warm when you go in the fountain.
I got Hornets tickets on Sunday to go see OKC.
Oh no!
And they're playing at 7. We're gonna get to Charlotte early. Watch it at the bar there. Celebrate a little bit. We'll find a Gamecock bar, and then go to the Hornets game after that. We were nervous for a second that we might have to cancel the Hornets trip to have to watch this. But look, I guess
poor foresight.
It was. I didn't realize it was going to be on Sunday, but luckily it was. Luckily it was like I guess now I was complaining about it, but luckily it's 3 p.m. Like I get to watch both. So
Yes, that's true. I was just looking at the line. The Cox are favored by 6.5.
I was I was gonna take 11.5 at this game, but I was like, they were playing a lot of teams close. 11.5 is a lot of points. It's a Final Four, and I was right for a half, and then the line should have been 21.5. It was bad.
You're right though. They have had slip ups.
Mm-hmm.
The Oregon State game was close for a while, and this is Indiana, right? That played them really close.
Yeah, the Indiana game was the worrisome game. That was the 4-point win. I think that was the closest win. Actually, no. We beat,
Oregon State they ended up beating by double digits. I think that game was close into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, going into the fourth, it was really close. The one only slip up they've had almost all season was them against Tennessee in the SEC tournament, and Carmela Cardosa, the woman I was talking about earlier, she's our best player, and her first ever career 3 was off the bank buzzer beater with literally 0.1 seconds left.
What?
Yeah,
That's wild.
It was actually insane. She doesn't take threes either, so she was just
I
she's
figured
at the top of the key, and
I think that was her first career 3.
Yeah, so that was an awesome moment that I've always thought about whenever the games do get close. We could pull some rabbits out of our hat sometimes.
Yeah.
But hopefully this game's not close. Hopefully I'm really gonna be nervous if they're close.
I might take their spread.
6.5.
Because I feel like if it's close, I would be nervous because it's not. I'm not a conspiracy guy, and I'm sure at that moment it's like a heat of the moment call. You barely have time to think about it. You just see it and call it.
Yeah.
But I think you're also crazy if you don't think that there is some bias. And I think it's the same way with Mahomes. They're gonna get more calls.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't think it's conspiracy theory to think that way. So if you ask the NCAA who they would rather have win a championship, I think the answer is pretty obvious.
Definitely. And the fact that, it's another hurdle that she has to jump over. And it's an undefeated team. It's not in the public perspective, but the NCAA, it's this is our Luke Skywalker going up against the Empire. And we can't Like they want to make it entertaining, and they want it to have storylines that people follow and care about, and maybe the South Carolina storyline just isn't as compelling to some people. But I think an undefeated team would be great for the sport.
Yeah,
And
and then you can start doing the UConn thing,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can
like
start
this South
comparing the
Carolina
two.
team versus those UConn teams.
Mm-hmm. And I also think like in the public's perspective though, I think like the South Carolina's starting to get the like especially for this game after how the last one ended, or
Yeah,
how the last Caitlin Clark game ended.
there's
I
people
like
that don't like it.
no there's a lot of South Carolina fans for this game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm one of. I have them in my bracket challenge, and I have a shot at winning the whole thing. So I'll be
Nice.
pulling heavy for the Cox. I need
Uh,
Purdue also, but if Purdue loses today, then I don't really give a shit.
fair. All right, you mentioned Purdue. Let's knock that out right now. We did a little bit a more preview on Tuesday's episode, but men's Final Four, NC State, we don't have a lot of hope for, but you never know.
But
It's
what
the
I
most
said last
Cinderella.
time, it would be the most perfect Purdue loss ever. It would be the real. This would be worse than last year, honestly. I think because you made the run. I guess like maybe not because you haven't been to the Final Four since 1980, but to lose to this NC State team, like if they lost last week, it would be one thing. To lose to an 11 seed in the Final Four, like they know that they're winning the national championship. They're like, this is a team of destiny. Edie is unstoppable. Like this
Yeah,
is our year.
and
Finally,
it would be
haven't won since 1930.
It'd be a perfect Big Ten loss too, like just
Yes.
staple. It would be a classic. The you're right. Actually, I want to argue that real quick. If you're a top seed, would you rather get upset in like the round of 16 or 32, or lose to a really underseed in the Final Four?
I'd rather go to the Final Four just because
You get the run and
it's
you get the
such like a
hats. You get the
spectacle
yeah.
of like going, like you hang a banner for the Final Four
Mm-hmm.
and just like going, and it's like the Super Bowl almost,
Yeah.
kind of. It's like that kind of aura around it, even though it's not the national championship yet. But yeah, it would be tough for them to lose again to a double-digit seed because they're like they win their first few games. They're like, all right, there's no way we can
the
get
monkey's
beat
off
by a
their
double-digit seed
back.
this year.
Yeah.
And then here comes NC State, the worst team to ever make the Final Four. That's why I would be nervous. There's no like basketball discussion for that reason. They literally, I think like the last 4 tournaments, it's been 13, 14, 15, and 16 that's been. So it's like, it's just their thing. They lose to bad tournament teams. And NC State is hot. Like, NC State thinks they can win this game.
Oh, definitely.
You see, they've won like 9 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They're the most confident team in the country right now outside of UConn.
And DJ Burns, do you see? They're like, what's like the difference between you and Edie? He's like, only 7 inches, no Diddy.
I mean,
he's such a lovable guy and such a fun guy.
I don't know. He is lovable. He's also like, he's a good player. He's not just like
he's not a bum.
Yeah, like, throw him in for a few minutes. Like, he has excellent footwork. He's got soft touch.
Mm-hmm. He just can't play defense.
He does suck at defense,
and
which is going to be a problem.
Yeah, and he
serious problem.
He'll have 2 fouls within the first 5 minutes for definitely.
Edie also like is a machine. I don't know if he feels any like positive emotion or like any emotion whatsoever. Like when he goes to the free throw line and you look at him and he's just like,
yeah, there's not a thought behind him besides
robot.
basketball.
No. Just get ball. Boom,
yeah, get ball in orange ring. That's all we need.
Yeah. So
it is team
I don't
of
think
destiny
that they're gonna
aura for NC State. Like this is like the
but
like
I think as far as the tournament goes, I feel like Team of Destiny can run out in the Final Four because it's like they made the Final Four run.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the big boys.
Yeah, that's true.
The big boys.
Yeah. And speaking of the big boys, Klingon and the Huskies are going and they're facing Alabama. We said it on Tuesday, the perfect game for Bama. they would have to play. UConn would have to play as they played for minus the 30-0 run against.
You just take out
you just take out the 30
that little stretch of gameplay.
That little it's like an asterisk. It's like if you take out that little asterisk, then that's the perfect game that they
football graphic where it's like a Penn State player has played in every Super Bowl since 1960, and then at the tiny little bottom, except for 6. Like Illinois kept it within 5 against UConn, except for the 10 minutes where it was the 30-0 run.
Yeah, exactly. And
for 30 minutes of gameplay.
They need 50 minutes of real time. But they need UConn to miss threes. They need UConn to not play at their type of pace. And Alabama plays at a pace that I think is like I think UConn can definitely run and gun with any team, so they can definitely run around with Alabama.
They're a better run and gun team than Alabama is. They just don't choose to play that way.
Did you see?
Like that's what they were doing to Illinois.
Did you see the? There was a tweet. It was like Alabama's practice, and they're doing the normal like 3-man weave, and some guy retweets and he's like, "This is why Alabama's such a fast-paced team. This is why." It's like, dude. Every team in the country, I was like, eighth graders do the 3-man weave. But I thought that was hilarious. It's just that this is why their pace is. I don't think they have anyone that can defend or honestly go offensively against Klingon and the rest of the guys. I want to see. He's the only guy that can give Edey some trouble. So I want to see them in the finals. I want to see them the two 7 feet guys going against each other. That's the way to go. And that's what I'm predicting here. Sadly, get a 1 seed and a 1 seed again. Maybe I
think that's the best for the championship though. Like we've had the fun with the Cinderella. Give me the 2 freaking bet. I've been wanting this championship though since the tournament started.
What do you
remember? Watching? Even in our, I don't know. I know they're listening to The Greatest Showman, and they're going to the lacrosse game.
Dude, they're listening to The Greatest. Did they just like cheer because Hugh Jackman did something crazy or something? Like they just went off. I thought they were watching like last night's game or something. Like I don't know what the hell they were watching.
I don't know. Maybe they're playing Wii golf or something. I don't know.
No, that would make sense.
Even like, chip in.
Yeah.
Go nuts for that. But we talked about it like even before the tournament started. I remember you saying that the 2 best teams by a pretty wide margin are Purdue and UConn.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part about the tournament is that there are years where you have all of these upsets and it's so much fun the whole way, and then in the end we still get that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the perfect tournament.
Yeah,
this is the perfect tournament in my eyes. I think both these games are going to be blowouts. with that being said, I think these games are blowouts. It's honestly insane that UConn, their spread against Bama is higher than Purdue's spread against NC State.
Wow.
Yeah, minus 11.5. Purdue's minus 9.
Wow. I never would have guessed that. I never would have guessed that at all.
Minus 11. I mean, like that's
the stat of the day. Too. That's the stat of the day right there.
Stat of the day.
Crazy. That's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
That one team is facing an 11 seed and the other is facing a 4 seed. That is like that. Not only a 4 seed, but a 4 seed that's like dropped 100 multiple times. That's.
You want a guess at the hypothetical line, the national championship? It's already up on DraftKings.
Really?
Purdue, UConn, yeah. They have all of them, but
UConn minus 6.5.
Close, 5.5.
Okay, yeah, I knew they got to keep it conservative. They're not gonna have a big spread against that, but 5.5 still. I mean, that's still pretty good odds for UConn there.
Yeah.
All right.
Minus 14.5 against NC State.
What about Bama NC State? Is there a hypothetical line there?
There is minus 4.5 Alabama.
I guess you could just parlay the two together, but can you bet like there should be a FanDuel bet like that it's Bama NC State.
Yeah, so let's see. If you parlay those, Bama's plus 525.
That's insane.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. The difference in spread is only 2 points, but the difference in money line is plus 200. Interesting. The parlay would be plus 2,600. So that would be $10 to win 275.
Damn.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen, but fun.
Looking
bet
like
if you-
chalk.
Yeah,
That would be fun. Yeah, why not?
would be a fun
For
little bet.
that would be madness.
Yeah, rooting for chaos at that point. That's you're just rooting for chaos. All right. We haven't done the NBA in a while. There's a lot going on during the season. You know, it's hard to talk about when every game is going on. But we have the layout. We have pretty much what the NBA playoffs is going to look like. And we're gonna go through the awards. It looks like the awards are pretty chalked. It looks like they're gonna end
I
up.
haven't even looked at the award.
Like if you go on FanDuel right now, you were just looking at it. Jokic is minus 4,000 to win the MVP.
Okay, let's start with that. Why is Luka not the favorite? I know that the Nuggets are better, but if you look at Luka's numbers, there's not much of an argument, I don't think. I've been saying this for a couple months now.
Yeah, you were on the Mavs with Luka when we did the we did like top 10 teams halfway through the season or whatever.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I don't know why it's so chalked. Like it was a discussion for such a long time with like Shea and a couple other guys. And then all of it just went away.
Shea should be in the conversation too.
It just like all went away.
It should not be like a lock for Jokic. I don't get it.
I don't know either. I think it's like I think it's the pedigree and like the calmness, like the fact that he can pick and choose when he's like dropping 40. But I feel like Luka could do the same thing. So I'm not sure. I know the Nuggets are what they have. They're 4 seeds better than, or 2 seeds better than the Mavericks at this point. 3 seeds, and
yeah, which is worth something. But it's also a player award. It's not a team award.
Yeah, it is.
Won it for the Thunder when they were like a 7 seed.
that
bad.
Yeah, they got that
triple double year.
Yes, I think they were a 6 seed. I think that was the first MVP that was like not gonna play a home playoff game.
Yeah, Luka's averaging 34, 9, and basically 10. How is that not MVP worthy? Jokic is 26, 12, and 9.
12 and 9.
Luka gets more assists, significantly more points, and less rebounds because he's 5 inches shorter. And I love Jokic, but I think it's a ripoff.
I don't know. I don't think it's a ripoff. Like I don't think it's a bad. He's not a bad MVP. It's not like this is going to be like go down and like we look at this in history and like, oh, how the hell did he win this MVP? But I think there should be more, especially with 5 games left. There should definitely be more of an argument, and it should be like it should be a collision course for these two guys to go and try to battle it out for that MVP. I don't know if they face each other again for the rest of the season, but that is where it needs to go. Yeah, they don't face each other again though. And if they don't get,
it's also the best season the Mavericks have had since the bubble.
Yeah, just because they're like, and they turned it around at the trade deadline. They got better players to fit with them, and all their moves have worked out for them. I don't know why Luka isn't considered more for the MVP, and I don't know why
I might take it at plus 1,600 just because I don't understand. At least I can say I went down with the ship.
And yeah, you can make an argument for Shea, and you can make an argument like even Anthony Edwards. Honestly, it's not his stats aren't going to compare, but like that team's a 1 seed, and Cat was out for half the season, and then Shea's done just as good as scoring wise and like for the whole season. So I think Shea got injured at the end of the season. That's probably why I put him out of it. But Luka never got injured, so I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. It really does not matter that much. It's just a personal
Yeah, personal little
qualm that I
qualm, yeah.
have with the league.
So where do you want to start with this? Do you want to start with the play-in teams? Start with the couple
Yeah,
matchups you like?
we can go bottom up. Actually, yeah, let's just roll through the East first because it's not that exciting. I don't think the West is a freaking
West is a
gauntlet
gauntlet, yeah.
right now. Hawks, Bulls have already clinched the play-in, right?
They should just clinch it every year. Can
I
we
mean,
at the
who
beginning of the year?
cares?
I feel like Hawks, Bulls, and like the Raptors should they just be like that? It's like a 3-team
Yeah,
tournament for the
for the
play-in
Nets.
10-9 seed. Yeah, with
I
the
didn't
Nets.
realize how bad the Raptors have been this year, though. Like they're
They
significantly out of the playoffs.
they sneakily tanked after
Yes,
the
they did.
trades. And
They
it's
did.
funny. It's that proves that if you want to tank, just go to Canada. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna even
Or
mention it.
Utah,
Or Utah. Yeah,
Charlotte.
they also Charlotte doesn't even. They're not tanking. They're just bad.
Just
Yeah, they're just terrible. Yeah, you can go to some of these franchises and just that's where you need to tank.
just waste away.
Yeah. The Hawks and Bulls, that'll be
People gonna watch this? Like, if you have an NBA podcast, I guess you watch this game.
yeah, and like you break it
But,
down
like-
and like do previews for it, but like
Yeah,
come on.
the most meaningless game.
Yeah, let's push
I will
back.
say the fascinating thing about the East right now is 7 and 8 seeds. When you have Miami, obviously, who we know what they bring come playoff time, and then the Sixers at 8 are just getting Embiid back, and they've
Yeah.
been able to tread water just long enough. Maxi's been unbelievable. We were talking about awards. He's gonna win Most Improved Player. Now they have their MVP back. So honestly, like I would be more scared of 7 and 8 than I am of 3 through 6. I don't know what your
100%.
take is on that.
No, I think it's a great take. The Celtics, they have their best season since 09. They've had the 1 seed locked up like the whole year, and this is the award they get. They get to face either the former MVP coming back, who has a chip on his shoulder because they can never beat the Celtics, or the team that loves to play the Celtics in the playoffs, doesn't do anything all regular season and then turns up. I do think, and it's pretty easy. It's like it's a different Heat team. I'm sure they'll have some guy that pops off if they play the Celtics. I'm sure Scary Terry will have.
I may.
Yeah, Jaime's coming. And I'm still nervous. I'm still nervous for it. I know Jimmy Butler hasn't looked as good. He hasn't had that spring even when he is playing. But he turns it up in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. They just fool around for 82 games. And then now they're going to get Tyler Hero back. So they're going to get another shooter to help them. And they have, like, same with Embiid. They get this nice luxury where they have this week where the games don't really matter. They're locked into the
ramp-up period.
Yeah, a nice little ramp-up period to get your guys going. And speaking of the Sixers, they're 2-0 with Embiid, both comeback wins, where they were down significantly in that game, in both games, and ended up getting the win. So you gotta, like, if you're the Celtics, I'm still thinking they take either of these teams. They should. Their roster dictates it. Everything that they've done all season dictates it. But when it comes to close games, these guys don't know who the ball should be in the hands of the last 4 minutes.
They haven't figured that out through 75 games.
No, and I think it should be Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is significantly more clutch than Jason Tatum this season.
Okay.
Tatum just loves the fadeaway threes and like the contested threes.
That is infuriating.
When he gets like 4 minutes left, he just wants to be Kobe Bryant. And he doesn't have the alpha stature. Like I don't understand how someone who loves Kobe can't understand the Mamba mentality. Someone who like idols him and like tries to mimic him all the time can't understand the alphaness that Kobe brought, and the difference between him and Kobe is that.
I mean, you can't just learn that.
No, you can't learn it.
You have to be like certifiably insane, I think.
Yeah, and I think Jaylen Brown has more of that insanity to him. if you know what I mean. He has more of that itch, that urge,
dog.
that dog. And it just that's what scares me. That's what's gonna make me nervous. And like, how do you tell Tatum? You know, he's your franchise guy, and I guess Jaylen Brown is too. But you're like, oh, like, you know, maybe you should pass.
Tatum's the one in the MVP running every year.
Yeah, which it's funny. Like, everyone always bitches about that, and it's like, oh, did you see like the plus minus differentials for a bunch of the superstars? There was one when Tatum's on the floor, they're plus 12, and when he's off the floor, they're plus 10. And it's like the only superstar where it's like it's not a significant droppage in plus minus. But like, that's not his fault. It's not his fault the rest of his team
they have
is
a
full of
perfect
studs.
roster.
Yeah. So I worry about clutch shooting, and I don't know who that guy is that's gonna be taking those clutch threes. They need to run their offense through Porzingis though, especially late. He needs to be the one facilitating, like we talked about with Edey in the March Madness. Get him in the middle, get him passing to open guys, get him double teamed so open players players get open, and then work off of that instead of having him like stuck in the corner like he did for the Mavericks. Like, that's not how you want to do it. They love Porzingis loves the Celtics. He knows his role. It seems like they've integrated him well into the system, and it seems like hopefully that's what they will do in the playoffs. And honestly, I think the Celtics are in that bad position, but the Bucks are in the same position. I'd be a lot more scared if I'm a Bucks fan. They just lost 3 games in a row to the Wizards, the Pistons, and the Memphis Grizzlies, who, if you haven't been watching the NBA this season, you might think the Memphis Grizzlies are all right. They haven't had any players all season. Gigi Jackson is their main star.
Gigi.
Yeah. So they're not good either. And those are 3 L's that are...
Wait, when did they lose to the Pistons?
Really significant. Was it the Pistons or was it another terrible team? I know they lost 3 in a row.
Raptors,
that's
Grizzlies,
what it was.
Wizards.
Yeah, Raptors, which we just talked about, how they've been tanking. They were on a 15-game losing streak and ended up beating the Bucks. I will say, I'm standing on my take. This is from pre-draft in the NBA. I said, and I think I'm right. The Heat were scarier getting Jaime Jaquez than they would have been getting Dame Lillard.
You did say that.
And,
you did.
And Jaime Jaquez might be going up against Dame Lillard in the first round. And they did it last year and might boot him again. So it'll be interesting.
Oh wait, yeah, that's way worse that they have to face the Heat in the first round versus you guys.
Yeah, or the Sixers, because they're way more inclined to end up blowing for these games than I think the Celtics are.
Dame's never done it in the playoffs.
No, he made it to one Western Conference. I mean, his teams are all terrible.
Blazers in 6.
Yeah, the Blazers in 6.
Swept by the Warriors.
So he made it to the Western Conference Finals, got swept by the Warriors, and he beat the Clippers? No, he beat OKC with Paul George. I think that was the same year. He's had one playoff run. And we know how Giannis is. We know that he's been a freak this year. Talk about that dog and the Mamba mentality. He is taking every game incredibly serious and taking his game incredibly serious. I don't know why. I guess maybe actually no. I know why he's not in the MVP conversation, because they've had some weird ups and downs in this season. But it'll be interesting to see how Doc Rivers and them figure this out. It's crazy. The Bucks would be the 5 seed in the West. The Bulls and Hawks would not even come close.
It'd be way out.
The Heat and the Sixers would be lucky if they were close in the West. And I saw a great comment. It was like, the Bucks just messed around and lost 3 games to the worst teams in the NBA, and their seed didn't change at all. If they were in the West, they'd be like out of the playoffs.
They would. They'd be they'd be tied with the Mavericks.
They'd be tied with the Mavericks on their way to like the Kings and the Pelicans are. I mean, all these teams from the 5 seed to the
swimming.
10 seed are separated by 5 games, and there's 5 games left. So
Yeah,
like
it
all
is
these
awesome.
games matter.
Well, even the 1 seed, like there's only 4
They're still
games
in
between the
play.
1 and the 4, and the top 3 seeds are within a game of each other.
Yeah. So the 1 seed is still up for grabs. I didn't even realize. Yeah, the Thunder's right there. So all
Mhm.
these games matter for all these teams. It's really fun to watch, and we're gonna be seeing some great matchups. Let's finish out the East real quick. The Cavs and Pacers. I think the Cavs, like, this is a lucky break for them if they get to stay with the Pacers. They don't want to see the Magic in the 4-5.
Oh, you'd rather see the the Pacers than the Magic?
I think Cleveland's in this weird situation where they don't really know who they are still. Like, they've played 82 games
Yes,
and
that is
still
true.
don't understand who they are. Donovan Mitchell, it seems like this could be the last series we see him in a Cavs uniform. And I think that's the right move for the Cavs. I think Garland, even if you think you got to pick one of the two, whether you got to pick Garland or you got to pick Mitchell. And if Mitchell doesn't want to be there anyways, you got to ride it out with Garland. And then they need to pick one of their bigs too. We talked about this last time we talked about the Cavs. They have a luxury of having 4 players that play 2 positions that are really good. So
They have, yeah, it's like their collective assets are almost as strong as anyone in the league.
yeah, but it's in
The
2
fit,
positions.
that's the problem.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think I'd rather play the Pacers. Have had some ups and downs, and like they've lost their little lust to them after the mid-season tournament loss. Like they were the
I
team to
guess,
talk
but they
about.
never really fell off that far.
No, and Halliburton was out for a while, so they had
Yeah.
that was part of their droppage. And you're right, they have Siakam. I'm never a big Siakam fan. I know they did it. I know why they did it. I get it, but I'm not a huge Siakam fan. You're right. I mean, this could be a great series. This could be a fun, like, this is 2 fun teams that play at high paces and play good defense. So it should be fun.
Who plays good? Not you're talking about the Magic, not the Pacers, right?
No, yeah. I'm talking. Well, I was saying the Cavs play good defense. You're right. The Pacers don't play good defense. But I think the Cavs definitely, they don't want to. I would want to see the Knicks because they're injured. They're injury prone. And Randall's out. Like the Knicks, they don't know how to handle themselves once they're in the playoffs. Like that's a team I would want to face. This Magic team is scary though. There's just like this.
Yeah, but I think they're also like they're at least a year or 2 away from being taken seriously. This was the first year that they have even made the playoffs, right? In forever.
Yeah, I think the last time they were in the playoffs, I think they were like an 8th seed and faced like the Bucks or something. Won like 1 game.
Yeah. So I think like this is the year for them to get some playoff experience. For their whole team is young. But I don't. Yeah, they also just don't. They don't have like a stud that you're scared of taking the last shot every game.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of these teams with more experience, I think, will not run them off the floor, but I don't think they're a real threat yet.
No, I agree. I don't think they're a real threat, but I do think that I think anyone in the middle that they face is going to be they're going to give some trouble to. They're going to play really good defense, especially this Knicks series. Those games are going to end like 80 to 80, like 86, 83. We're going to see some 80s style basketball.
Yeah.
If they do end up Knicks Magic, I'm hammering the overs or the unders every game until they change it, because they're going to be at least going to be the first 2 games are at least going to be inflated up, and then they're going to drop them down. So get them while it's hot if they do go in. But I don't like. It's funny, those guys. It's like they're fighting in the middle to just get wrecked by the Bucks or the Celtics.
Yes,
it feels like.
I don't know. One of the someone could beat the Bucks.
And I think almost anyone.
The Bucks I could see going one of 2 ways. I could see them getting embarrassed early or making a title run.
You just like don't know which Bucks team you're gonna see.
Yeah, I'm really compelled to see what Bucks team we see early, how they face that first round series. They're gonna get a good matchup they're gonna get either the Heat or the Sixers. So they're gonna get a real team that they have to face. And you can't count Giannis out. And I know Dame hasn't done in the playoffs, but he still has he has the Dame time. He has the clutch moments. So they'll have at least one Dame time game. And they just need, like, people forgot last year that they did lose to the Heat, but Giannis was out for 4 games, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that'll do it. And he's not going to be out. He's been playing at full strength.
I don't know if it was 4 games.
It was at least 3.
But yeah.
But they I don't think they'll. You're right. They can either get upset in the first round to one of these good teams, or they can make a really good, serious run and give the Celtics some hell. I think they can definitely give the Celtics some hell in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, West Side though. However, this play, I don't even know if we can talk about the matchups yet because they're all going to move around within the next 5 days. But there's a lot of these teams in the West that can make some really good sleeper runs.
Sorry,
you're good.
Just knocked my plate.
Did eggs spill everywhere?
No. I finished this. There's just a bite left.
Oh,
okay. Damn it.
But like the Clippers, they have
I'm a mess.
The Clippers, they're gonna have 3 guys to worry about in the playoffs. 4 with Russ coming off the bench. Harden hasn't looked good in a while, but
they've all made it.
They made
They're healthy.
They're all healthy.
I freaking sit those guys the last 5 games of the year.
Yeah, I know. Even if you fall to like the 6th seed, it's like we're pretty good. I don't think they're gonna have to play in the play-in. I would start resting them too. Yep. Yeah, I think they play the Hornets today. It's like,
oh yeah, sit them all.
Yeah,
take the fine.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. Take the fine. You don't need to play that game. Actually, I would make Harden play all the other ones. Yeah, like Harden, you can shoot yourself out of this slump for the playoffs. Everyone else just take a breather.
It's the stat padding. Harden takes like 50 shots against the Hornets.
So they're a team that is going to be healthy. They're going to be in the mix. They are facing right now. They're going to be facing the Mavericks as is the 4-5. Bad matchup.
That was the team. That was the bubble matchup, right? When Luka hit that buzzer beater. That was an awesome series.
Yeah. So that would be a great series. Luka loves playing the Clippers. He always seems to go off against them. And that would be a bad matchup for them. Like, because it just brings back the memories from the bubble, like Luka just tearing them apart.
Wait, but didn't they win the series though?
The Clippers?
I think yeah.
And they lost to the Nuggets. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
I remember the buzzer beater, but I don't know.
But they played again the next year, did they not? I know Luka. I think they played 2 years in a row, and I know Luka went off in all those games. But I don't know.
Yeah, the Clippers beat them in 6 in the bubble. Okay, they did play again.
Yeah, that second time the Mavs won, right? Then they faced. That's when the Mavs.
Clippers, no, the Clippers won in 7. Wait, what? I don't remember this series.
Huh. Well,
This was 2021, so that was the next year.
Yeah, that'd be the year after the bubble.
Bubble meltdown.
Hell, well maybe. All right, well then.
Wait, did I read this wrong? Clippers won that series too. This is great podcasting.
Okay, well then, I guess it's on Luka. Like it's funny that you remember all those games because Luka was going off in all those games. The buzzer beater. And
you don't even remember that the Clippers won.
Yeah, you don't remember that the Clippers ended up winning. So I guess it's on the Mavericks then to get that monkey off their back.
Yeah.
Let's flip the script real quick. But either way, that's going to be an insane matchup. One that we've seen twice already.
Both of those series were excellent.
Yeah, So,
But now the Mavericks have Kyrie, and if Gafford and PJ Washington, I think they're much better equipped. And the Clippers, I guess, didn't have Harden at that point.
no, they didn't have Harden. They didn't have Westbrook. They didn't have
Yeah.
but they had this similar no
And
Daniel Tice.
Kawhi and PG.
Um,
Game changer. Norman Powell.
I do like Norman Powell.
He might
Norman
have been there.
He's gonna
actually.
go off. He's gonna go off in one of these games. I know that. That's
Or
a
no,
fact.
he was not there.
Yeah, I think they got him. He was probably on the Sixers or the T-Wolves.
On the Blazers for 1 year.
All right, we're getting in the weeds of things here. The Suns, another team that hasn't had the team success that you would expect from the pedigree of their guys. You know, Kevin Durant's always going to be scary in the playoffs. Devin Booker's always going to be scary in the playoffs. Bradley Beal, we've never seen in the playoffs. So,
oh, that's not true. Not true. He's been in the playoffs a bunch of times.
But that big three, you know, Grayson Allen is number 1 3-point shooter in the world. It'll just be if they have enough guys to go against this Thunder team. A young Thunder team, so that would be a plus for the Suns. You're going up against a young squad that's first year of doing it.
This might be the most fascinating of the first round matchups. It's funny. It's a team of old heads, but it's not like, you know, Devin Booker's just old because he's been in the league for like 9 years now. He's not an old head.
Yeah. And Beal's getting up there though. Can Beal be an old head?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, Beal could be. And Kevin Durant's like, people forget that he's like 36. He's like 36. 37.
Yeah, if you take LeBron out, he is the greatest player of this generation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not that close.
No. I mean, actually, Curry.
Yeah, but longevity. Durant was around for way longer than Curry was.
That's true.
Durant was going to the finals 5 years before Curry exploded.
That's true.
And he was the best player on that team.
Yeah, with Curry. All right, I get you. That's a good point. You know, Durant has sadly just tarnished his legacy with the Nets move and then forcing to the Suns. Like, people are gonna forget that how good of a player he was just because of those teams. And even when he was on the Nets, he brought the championship Bucks an inch away from beating them.
Yes.
He just wore a shoe size to one his normal shoe size.
He wasn't a freak.
Yeah, and wore an extra big shoe size. But this is a great matchup here. It'll be great to see the three guys playing for hopefully 7 games. Like they haven't. I don't remember the stat. I think it's only been less than 30 games, I believe, with all 3 of those guys out there. So
it's
another
funny,
team.
That's exactly what happened when KD was in Brooklyn.
Yeah. It's another team that has to figure out who they are in the playoffs, and it'll be a fascinating matchup just because of the intensity and the scoring level of the vets that they do have. That they have the pieces to beat this Thunder team, but do they have the continuity? Do they have the teamwork to beat this Thunder team? Also, Kevin Durant going home.
Oh.
Going back to Thunder.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Fun for Oklahoma. They'll boo the crap out of him. And that'll be a fascinating series as well.
Yeah.
Lakers Warriors in the play-in again. This is like the second time we've seen both those two teams in the play-in. It's a shame. They need to be playing in the 7-8 so they can both try to make it.
I know.
Get the Pelicans and Kings out of here.
I mean, the Lakers could jump the Kings.
Oh yeah,
and
the Lakers can make it there, and then they can both.
It's crazy that 2 of these 4 teams are not going to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, and they all have 40+ wins. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry if you hear that train go by.
Choo choo.
Yeah, it goes right through my backyard.
Yeah. Really obnoxious.
Yeah, one time it was just
hop on it and see where it takes you.
My buddy's done that once. I swear.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't know how long he stayed on, but I just saw a Snapchat story. It's like 10 p.m. and just like sitting on the train. It's like, let's see where it goes. I don't know where he ended up, but anyways, there's a
So that is a joke.
no, yeah, no, he did it. There was a couple weekends ago. There was just one train car that went by, and it was just the engine, and it went by. It went behind my house, blared on the horn like 8 times, and then backed up.
Mhm.
I don't know where it went, but it like backed up and went the other way. So like, did it just like want to ruin our afternoons? Did it just want to like, screw this house? I'm just gonna blare my horn behind them. That's what it was like. That only for like probably a solid 30 seconds.
Oh, that's no fun.
We got off track. It is crazy that
Off track.
yeah, good one.
Ah.
Train joke, good one.
Why were the wise guys?
Yeah, that's a great one. We might forget that the Mavericks didn't win a single playoff series.
Yeah, next episode.
But
we'll have no idea.
The train joke will be coming a couple minutes later. That's what you stay for. You come for us messing up the results. Stay for the train jokes. Anyways, let's get this train rolling and continue here.
Nice.
Thank you. That was a little too on the nose. I should have said like engine or something. That was a little too on the nose. The Kings need to be out of here. They lost Malik Monk. They lost Kevin Huerter. They're a team of just De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis and a bunch of dudes. No other elite players on their team. They're not going to make it far if they sneak in here. I don't even think they're going to sneak in here. I think they're going to lose to the Pelicans and then lose to probably the Lakers or the Warriors. And on the Lakers side, they should not want to face the Warriors at all.
Ooh.
The Warriors have been red hot lately. Andrew Wiggins has just been, he's just like, I'm back. And and ever since he's become back,
he is one of those guys that just like his numbers come and go with the wind.
Oh yeah. It's definitely
wildly frustrating.
And this is a guy who 2 seasons in a row, I'm not going to speculate, but just has left the team for reasons that are not announced. And I hope of course every time he leaves the team, I hope he's doing all right, but everything. But that's a key piece that halfway through their season, they're just like, oh, our 4th best player is just going to leave for 50 games. And then Draymond's going to swing at someone and lose the rest of his eligibility. I do think that they're in the red hot position. They had the Rockets were really fighting for this spot. Excuse me. They won 11 games in a row and were still 2 games behind the Warriors. They sadly
that was
lost
a fun
couple.
little run.
And Jalen Green proved why all these guys that you give up on early, they're still like 23 years old and have all this raw basketball skill. Like they'll put it together at some point.
I mean, yeah, some of the games that he was putting together are unbelievable.
And some of his moves were just magnificent. Like his hang time, some of his layups. I remember great Twitter was when everyone was done with the 90s. And like they were showing all these Jalen Green highlights. And like, this would be Michael Jordan's highlight play of his career. Michael Jordan. This would be the best shot of his career. So he was putting on a show. That team was fun. Their young guys were coming together. Their vets were doing what they got paid to do, all that money. But they faced each other Thursday, and it was supposed to be the game.
Rockets Warriors.
Yeah, and they were in there until the Warriors just completely blew them out. They put the nail in the coffin. They're going to get this play-in spot. As much as the seeds might move around, the play-in's pretty locked for the West. They're going to get it. They're either going to face the Lakers or the Kings. They should want the Kings. It's the little brother. Yes. They own the Kings. They don't want to face LeBron.
I think the NBA probably wants them to see the Kings too.
Yeah, because then you can get Pelicans Warriors. You could get Lakers Warriors again if you wanted to. Like there's a lot more. There's a lot more fun that goes on if the Kings fall to that 9 seed. And honestly, it's funny. Like with 5 games left, the Kings they had a heartbreaking loss I mean, not for Celtics fans, but for Kings fans, a heartbreaking loss. They lost 1 point. They came all the way back and lost by 1 point. It was actually insane Celtics stat. They were up 96-73, maybe 78, with 6 minutes to go, and the game ended 101 and 100. Yeah, not a great Celtics stat.
It's a pretty shocking collapse. Well, they won, so
yeah, they ended up with the win, so that's all that matters. But
there's no bad wins.
Huge loss for the Kings there. They could have moved up to the 7th seed, but didn't end up taking the cake there. Pelicans, they're a slept-on team. They're a fun team. Zion's been healthy almost all year. They have really good defense. Trey Murphy has become one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Herb Jones is one of the best defenders in the league. But, I don't know. They need a real point guard. They have CJ McCollum. Sometimes it's Herb Jones. I wanted to see if they would use Dyson Daniels in that role a little bit. They haven't used him yet. He's still really young and probably just not ready for it. And when you have CJ McCollum, I guess you just play him in at point guard, even if he's more of a shooting guard. So that would be worrisome for me if I'm a Pelicans fan. And you're not the Warriors or the Lakers. That would worry me too. Like the NBA wants to try to get them both in the playoffs. Warriors, Timberwolves, or Lakers, Nuggets would be great first round cinema, and really round out the competitiveness of this.
I mean, the Lakers Nuggets last year was the best a team has ever played in a sweep. And to Brian Windhorst,
the greatest sweep of all time.
Yeah.
By
the team who got swept, not by the sweeper.
But which, I mean, to be fair, on the Lakers side, those all were like 2-point, 1-point games, and that was
they were
series. But no, it was a sweep. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be great hoops. Like, that's the best part about looking at this West Side. You're like, man, how any of these matchups
there's 10 really good basketball teams.
Yeah, and there's not, like, I guess the Kings would be the one where it's like, oh man, they made it. But other than that, it's like all these guys are gonna be.
I don't know. I like watching the Kings. I just love Fox.
The Kings are fun to watch. Yeah, Sabonis is a double machine. Fox is fun to watch. They're missing Malik Monk greatly, and Herter, which Herter didn't have a great season, but reliable shooter. They know who he is, know his role. And if they had those guys healthy, like I'd be all in. I'd be like, let's get him in there. But sadly not. So sadly, the beam will probably not be lit. But we're gonna be seeing some great hoops. You mentioned.
Back to the Pelicans? Is Zion? I saw he missed a game. Is he gonna be fine?
Oh no, not now. I didn't know
His
that.
finger.
Oh, he's fine.
He should be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
If it's like a broken finger, then
no, he's playing.
Like, I want to see Zion in the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too. I want to see if he takes it up to another level. Because we've seen these guys come in the playoffs, take it to another level. And they'd be a fun team against the Nuggets because of their defense and the Nuggets don't have as much as they have Jokic, but they don't have a big guy to stop Zion.
Yeah,
they don't have
Zion has had an awesome season.
Yeah, this has been for all the crap that he gets. He got no praise during the season, and I guess you don't get any praise until I guess you're in MVP contention and stuff like that. But he's still 23 years old. Yeah. That's the craziest thing about these NBA players is they've played 4 or 3 years in the league and they're still 23 and everyone writes them off. They're like, oh, he's done.
Yep.
He'll never be.
It's ridiculous.
And it's like this guy, he's as old as Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. It takes 5 years to really develop, maybe even more.
Yeah, and I
mean, look at Booker.
You can look at Booker, and
that's a prime example of it.
LeBron didn't win his first championship till he was 27 years old, 28 years old.
Yeah.
He played almost 10 years in the league. Same with Michael Jordan. Same with any all-time great not named Magic Johnson. It's like they all had to take many years of battles and wars to figure it out. And that just gets thrown in their face now. It's like, especially like, even we were talking about Tatum earlier, and he's been to finals and lost finals, but like he's still 26 years old. Like this guy he still has 10 more years in the league until he's LeBron's. He's not even LeBron. He's got 13 until he's LeBron's age. Like these guys are going to end up playing until they're like 40. So you gotta give these guys more time, more credit. It's gonna happen with Anthony Edwards, especially like this year if they don't.
Yeah, actually, Edwards is another good example of it.
Yeah, and everyone loves Edwards right now. All of his antics, all of his like the way he talks. Everyone thinks he's hilarious. But if they're the 1 seed this year and they don't make it to the Western Conference Finals, or they don't make it past the first round, and then next year they don't win at the championship, it's what's wrong with Anthony Edwards? He's
a choke artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't win in the playoffs.
And we're gonna still
look at the teams that they're gonna be facing.
And we're gonna have to we're still gonna have 5 more years until he's 27 and he's the man and he's owning the league. I think if anyone can do it ahead of schedule, it's Anthony Edwards. That dude is just an absolute baller, and just like he has that competitive edge that like he has the Mamba mentality. He has it there. Like he just wants to run through people's faces and destroy them in basketball games. But if he doesn't win in the next 3 years, they're going to be like, what's wrong with Anthony Edwards? Can you win with Anthony Edwards? Is he a winning player? Same with Luka. Someone told me the other day, Luka's just not a winning player. I was like, why is that? It's like, he hasn't won anything. Like, dude, guy's 24 years old, 25 years old. What do you mean he's not a winning player? They've been to playoffs almost every year.
Make any sense.
Last year, they shut him down to try to keep that pick, and it worked out, so that they missed the playoffs. But you can't tell me he's not a winning player. Like, give him if he's 32 and he hasn't won anything, yeah, I'll call him not a winning player. But let him settle in a little bit. Let him. They have to go through the wars and face this, like get the scars and everything.
Yeah, Jordan didn't win a finals in his 3rd year.
No.
Jordan had to go through the Celtics and then the Pistons, and then finally he overcame it.
Yeah, and
when he got there, he won every year. But
yeah, that's why he's Jordan.
It's an automatic. Yeah, right.
And like look at the Nuggets. Jokic was a non-factor in this league.
Jokic wasn't a winning player.
4 or 5 years of his career, and now he's won. He's going to win 3
fraud
MVPs
MVP because he couldn't win in the playoffs.
And now he's going to win 3 MVPs in 4 years, unless Luka, your long shot works out. Then he won a Finals MVP and the championship last year, and people still give him crap like that. He's getting like that he doesn't deserve these MVPs and stuff like that. I don't understand, but. I mean, go in the East, you just start naming these players. Giannis, same way. All these guys take time. And, like, as you're saying with the Magic, 2-3 years away, yeah, because then it's going to be Paolo's turn. He's going to be the guy. And, but, I don't know where I'm going with this. Just don't give up on these young guys. Yeah, that was a long argument of not giving up on these young guys. Looking at, is there any clinching scenarios left? Oh, the Rockets are still technically not eliminated. The Lakers have clinched with a Houston loss. Milwaukee does not clinch a playoff spot after. I don't know how that's not clinched. They're the 2 seed. All right, so none of this matters. Basically, Houston still can win if Golden State loses out. And make that 10 seed, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's funny. The only Eastern Conference team to clinch a playoff spot is the Celtics. That's weird.
Wait, how is that possible if the Bulls already clinched the play-in?
So teams that have been this is weird. Basically, because they haven't been eliminated. So I guess they're not technically clinched into the playoffs. Because their seed's not clinched. Maybe that's why they're not clinched in the playoffs.
They made the playoffs.
Yeah, because they have
their seed isn't locked.
Yeah, because all these guys are eliminated.
Yeah,
that's a weird way to phrase it. NBA.
Yeah, that's really misleading.
Do they have a team awards here on? No, they don't. All right. What even are defensive player of the year? Probably going to be that needs to be a real argument because Victor Wembanyama has had more blocks this year than 82% of the league ever. And
That's an awesome stat.
like the argument against Wemby winning defensive player of the year is that the Spurs defense sucks. But if it's an individual player award,
Yeah.
he is the best defensive player in the world, and he's going to be the best defensive player. Let's just clinch him for winning it for the next 10 years, because and I think Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy's actually going to get it this year. I don't, and because the Timberwolves have had the number 1 defense all year, they're the number 1 seed. But I like if you're sitting there and you have a vote, you have to like at least just sit and think about Wemby for a little bit. And I don't know where, like if I had a vote, I don't know where I'd stand, because I understand the arguments for both, but I've never seen a player like Wembanyama and players scared to go to the hoop like players going up against Wembanyama.
No, I agree. I don't like these. It makes no sense that these awards are such runaways.
Yeah, I don't get it either. They have the clutch award, which is stupid. I don't understand that at all. I don't know why it's a clutch award based off clutch stats, but then you have to vote. It should just be off the clutch points. Whoever has like the most clutch points.
Rosen versus Curry.
Is he gonna get it?
Maybe.
What's the
Curry commands 65% of the clutch betting handle.
Curry?
Yeah.
Curry's like, isn't he like notorious for missing like a bunch of clutch threes?
As of April 3rd, Chicago has gone 25 and 16 in clutch games, while Golden State has gone 22 and 22.
The Bulls have gone what? Sorry, I missed the first step.
25 and 16 in clutch games, whatever that means.
And the Warriors have 22 and what?
22 and 22.
Yeah, that
is a stupid award, and I don't want to talk about it.
No, that's a really dumb award.
I don't know what a clutch game is.
I think it's like if it's close with 5 minutes left, they call it. Yeah, I think it's close with 5 minutes left. They call it a clutch game. All right.
So stupid.
And then they have most improved. That could be argued. Kobe White should be an argument for that.
Yeah.
They haven't won enough. I think it should probably go to Maxey. I don't like though most improved when it goes to a guy that we know is on the trajectory to be good. Like when they gave it to John Morant, it's like the dude
went like a shock value.
Yeah, Kobe White's a perfect scenario. Like he was written off. People thought he was done.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody ever talked about Kobe White, and then he had this season he popped off. I don't know if he might have slowed down, but I mean he's averaging 19, 4 and 5, and in his career he averages 14, 3 and 3. So like that's a real significant improvement this season, and I think that's how we should look at it. But I don't know. I guess it does make sense to go to Maxey. I just feel like we all knew Maxey was going to be good, and now he didn't have Embiid, he didn't have Harden, he got the ball more. Like it just makes sense that he was going to be more involved and better. But that doesn't seem like how these NBA awards go. All right, what else? What other even awards do they have? Rookie of the Year. That's going to go to
Six man.
Six Man of the Year.
Six man is between Monk and Naz Reid.
Naz Reid should get it. Monk got injured. It's going to screw him. But Naz Reid has been a force off the bench. He's been like just an extra. Like he could start for probably 30 NBA teams. I mean, there's only 30 of them. He could start for probably every one of them, and happens to be on the team with two great centers that he doesn't start for. So yeah, he should be out there. Is it just him and Monk?
Those are like the top two guys in the running. I'll have to see.
And then I guess
Pull
the last would
sheet
just
back
be
up.
the last one would just be
Coach.
what the All NBA teams.
Oh yeah.
Now they're that's positionless now. Just top 15 best NBA players now.
Oh really?
That doesn't make any sense. I don't get that at all.
Kind of stupid.
No,
It's a team.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be a team. Like I thought the whole point is that it's supposed to function as a basketball team. Like that's the All NBA team.
I mean, I guess when you consider like how their contracts are affected by it, it shouldn't be.
I think that's what the argument was.
Can't they get a bigger extension?
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Well, and I don't think if it's since it's a public vote and like these are writers that are voting on it and analysts and stuff. I know I get why their pay is affected because they're getting an award, they're getting all that, but I don't know. It seems a little like I think Jaylen Brown last year he got second team All NBA, and then becomes the highest paid player in the league because of it. Luka's going to do that this year. I think his extension is going to make him higher paid than Jaylen Brown. But like if he doesn't get that, now he just doesn't have this extension. And I remember last year it was really important for Jaylen Brown to make that thing because then the Celtics them specifically could give him more money than every other team. But I just think it's weird that the public eye affects these guys' pay grades. But I guess that's how it should be, honestly. I don't know. All right.
I never understood like the supermax and the max extensions.
It's very complex. I don't get that. I don't get it either. All right. I think that's all I think we covered pretty much everything.
Sweet.
It's been another fantastic year in the NBA. I feel like the level of play, the number of players that are just good has increased year after year. The guys that are getting good, they're getting good faster with all these young players. It makes it for a really interesting league that has a lot of stuff going on. So it's right into the crunch time of it. It's right into the best basketball we're about to see. And it ends in we got 8 days. And it's all chalked up, ready for the play-in.
That's Yoffs.
Yep. So super excited about the playoffs. We'll do, I guess, we still have 8 days. We'll have another podcast or two between then. So we can get some more predictions out there once the final matchups are set. Quick NBA champion before we leave.
I don't want to take the Celtics because they're the odds-on favorite. I'm going to. I think this is the year.
It's their year to lose. I'm not going to clearly pick another NBA champion. As a Celtics fan, they're going to have a lot of trouble with a lot of these teams. Even when they go to especially when they go to the finals, if they go to the finals, any West team that they face is going to have. I'm just worried about the pedigree and the last 4 minutes of games. Hopefully they figured it out and we'll figure it out in the playoffs. This is their year to lose. They have had the best roster in the league the whole year. They clinched the best record in the league a week ago, and their starters this year have played 35 games together. They're starting 35 games together, and they've won 61 games. So it's theirs to lose. I hope this is the year. I'm ready. I'm getting myself emotionally ready for all these games and having to sit through weeks on weeks of stressful basketball. I remember we've been talking about the past couple years with these deep playoff runs, how it gets to your brain, man, affects your mental.
Oh yeah.
And when I'm sleep and talking about the Celtics and worrying about who they're playing, it's gonna be. I'm excited for it. It's the rush that I get. So it's
the playoffs are so long too. That's why you just need Need the Bulls in the first round. Not Miami.
Yeah, honestly, give us some help here. Yeah, but this should be a great playoffs. It should be a lot of fun. A lot of storylines to talk about, especially on that West side. And before we leave this pod, there was a major NFL trade that happened over the weekend on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
It happened. Stefon Diggs got traded from the Buffalo Bills to the Houston Texans for a second-round pick next year. And the shock value of this trade, I think, is dwindled down a little bit, and it's becoming like the picture is becoming a little more clear. The Texans they trade for Diggs. The Bills eat a $30 million dead cap hit just from the trade, and then Houston goes out and waives his contract.
The rest of his contract, yeah.
So now he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So basically they're saying we're going to take this gamble on this head case, but we're not going to take the 4-year gamble. Well, if he likes the team, we'll re-sign him the same contract, and we'll work out. But he's 30 years old. He's going to be 31 midway through next year. He had his worst season in Buffalo last year. He had the defining drop of their playoff loss, and he called out his quarterback like every other week. So clearly, they sat down with him. They said we can either figure this out or we can trade you. And he looked at him and he said we're going to trade you. So I don't know. If you're the Texans, of course this is a good move for the Texans. They're bolstering around their young quarterback that they saw was a star. They got a bunch of veterans this year. Their roster looks elite. They look like they're poised for a nice playoff run. But is this guy gonna want to face the battles again? Is he gonna I don't know what Diggs wants. He just ran away from his best quarterback ever, and I don't know. Stroud can be up there with Josh Allen eventually. Not there right now. Honestly,
might be.
As he might be. Let's give him more time. But I like this. This seems like a lose. It seemed like a loss from the Bills' perspective immediately. But the more the picture gets painted, it seems like they're going to be just fine. And everyone was, oh my god, they gave him a second-round pick next year. If you look at all the NFL trades that have happened, I feel like every one of these trades, it's like they only got him for a fourth, they only got him for a fifth. So
the fact that you got the second round to begin with.
Yeah, so the fact that you get the second round from Minnesota, who doesn't have a quarterback as of right now, that's pretty good value for a guy that wanted to be off your team desperately.
Yes. Yeah, we have to stop being surprised by the compensation in these trades.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's starting to become, why didn't just other teams do that instead of worrying about the compensation? Especially with the Fields one. That one's like, why didn't other teams do this? Just get a 4th-round pick. You're getting a free rookie quarterback to work on for 1 year. But I mean, I think Diggs will probably have a good season. Does he outcatch and outyard? Yeah, that's true. But does he outcatch and outyard Tank Dell, Nico Collins? Like he might have gotten, the grass is not always greener, my friend. And he might be seeing a lot less targets this year because they have some great wide receivers.
He definitely will. Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's really all for the NFL. We're not doing no draft stuff yet. We still got 25 days, I think. 21.
For our own mental health.
Yeah.
No draft.
Can't do it. I feel like we do. I will say, like, we flip back and forth every time. I'm in on Drake May now. I'm all in.
You are?
Yeah, I flipped back. I'm snip snapping. It's like the reverse vasectomy from The Office. It's snip snap, snip snap.
Snip snap. Yeah, don't listen to anything that we say because we're gonna change our minds in a week.
No, I'm the
same way.
I don't think I get that. I have 21 days to change my mind, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I want May. I think that guy just.
They don't.
You're not
I want
going
him.
to.
I want him until he wears number 10 and looks exactly like Mitch Trubisky and looks exactly like Mac Jones. Yeah, I don't know. I just said we're not going to do draft stuff, so let's not do it. You want to wrap up here? I think we covered everything.
What?
I said you want to wrap up here? I think we covered everything.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We're about on it.
yeah. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully you all enjoyed. This was a packed one per usual. And we'll see everyone on Tuesday. Enjoy your Saturday. Weird doing a pod on a Saturday, but enjoy your Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
And have fun watching the Final Four.